Hey, what's going on, everyone? Just going to do my last show to the YouTube channel and Wing Fighter Talk. And just pre-warning, this is probably going to be a little X-rated and definitely not made for any children. It's going to be nice to just kind of just say what I've always wanted to say to the whole community. Hopefully, I can put some perspectives into the new players and even the players playing it now. Obviously, you guys know I have never really been afraid to say what I need to say, and but it's a little bit different because now I don't have any binds to anybody, legions, wing fighter, and now I can kind of just say what I need to say. And you know, how did I get into wing fighter? I'm going to give you guys just a, just a little history about me and how I got into the game, and just give you guys a couple of stories. And I could be here for days and days and days with stories. Yeah, I've got a million of them. So I'm not going to try to bore you guys. I just think I just needed just a closing show just to tell my truths and what I saw the whole entire time, how I kind of was treated throughout the game, and just a little bit more. So hopefully, again, I don't bore you guys, but you guys can see the header of this woke wing fighter. The community is held hostage. And, why would I say something like that? And we'll get a little bit more into that uh, down the road into the show here. But, I got into Wing Fighter. I think I was sitting at the DMV doing something for one of my vehicles. I was sitting there just bored. You guys know, long lines sitting there. So decided to download a space shooting game and ran across Wing Fighter. Absolutely cool. I mean, how can you not like it? I'm an old school game fan of the side scrollers, up and down space shooters, and games of that type. I grew up with them and just always loved them. I just, even to this day, even on Xbox, I play side scrollers, Metrovania type of games, and I just cannot get enough of them. And so I ended up running across Wing Fighter. Absolutely loved it. And what Wing Fighter doesn't tell you in the descriptions is that you're going to have to join a legion. And so the more stronger you get, the more levels you pass, all of a sudden some of the other aspects of the game open up. And finally, I got to the point where it said you need to join a legion. I had no clue even how to do that. I had no friends in the game, and I did an auto join to a legion. And obviously, I started out just like you guys as the small players. I started from square one, and so I joined an auto legion and had no clue what I was doing. As a matter of fact, everybody in that legion didn't know what they were doing. It was just a bunch of tiny players. And after 2 days of playing in that legion, the leader passed me the leadership out of nowhere. I didn't even know how to play the game. I didn't even know how to play a team event. I didn't even know anything about Planet Wars. And all of a sudden, I was in a leadership role. Now, I'm going to give you guys a little background about me just as a person because this is going to be very important to how I was in the game and what motivated me, conflicts, how I am going to win the conflict. And what I mean by that is some of you know that and I've said it into some of my other videos, I was a United States Marine. I was in the military. I was Iron Man out of my class, which was most physically fit. I was Honor Man, which was basically the number one out of my class. My platoon was Honor Platoon out of the whole entire battalion. And I was trained for mental and physical warfare. And Uh, while I was in the Marines, just to tell you guys, I kicked some ass. I love the military. I was able to do so many cool things, got to go overseas and see a lot of things. And, me telling you this is a very important aspect to who I was in Wing Fighter and what I was against and how things transpired, how my reactions were with other players in bad situations. And it always goes back to I was a United States Marine. Some of you know, and if you don't know, I opened up the very first DJ internet video site in the world in 2009. And this was filled with hundreds of DJs and producers, if not thousands. I've worked with DJs from around the world. And the reason why I'm bringing this experience up before getting more into what I'm going to tell you, my experience with Wing Fighter is most DJs are incredibly, incredibly egotistical, very difficult to work with. And here I had a website, a video website, proving that DJs could mix. The very first website in the world, again, proving that DJs could mix. But I was dealing with hundreds. We had 100 official DJs on our site and more. And very difficult. Dealing with egotistical DJs is probably the last thing that I would ever want to do again in my life. I think I would rather be the head coach of a cheerleading squad before doing that ever again. But very, very highly successful with the website. It was a worldwide phenomena when it came out. Super proud of that. I've been able to do so many cool things with 2 turntables and a mixer. I've made some incredible accomplishments with that. But again, the reason why I'm bringing up the Marines, bringing up that especially, is I've had a lot of practice, a ton of practice with people, egos, internet, and I'm no stranger to debates and having great relationships and bad relationships, and social media. What do we see on social media now? Just hateful political posts. Everybody's fighting. That is not uncommon, even outside of Wing Fighter. But I must say that as of right now, I think Wing Fighter is worse than Facebook and social media. I think a lot of the players bring a lot of wokeness to the game. You're going to be walking on eggshells the whole entire time. There's a special word that Wing Fighter teams like to use, and every team has a diplomat, and I will get back into that here in a little bit. And the special word is diplomacy. And like I said, this is going to be an X-rated video for you guys and show, but diplomacy, what they're actually trying to say is they're really good at sucking, excuse my language guys, dick and kissing ass. So diplomacy. And when you say the Wing Fighter community, what that really means is if you're not participating right in the Wing Fighter community, they're being held hostage. And why would they be held hostage? And realistically, the mega teams basically make the smaller teams terrified of them, and you're going to break your allegiances. And we'll get a little bit more into that, but I just wanted to make sure that we had the term diplomatic and diplomacy, what that means right out the gate. And so, going back to me, first starting the game, being handed this Legion, and that's why I was telling you about the Marines, and so, and excuse me, I've had kind of a rough voice ever since I got back from vacation. And while I was on that vacation, I said it in my last video, but to recap, while I was on that vacation, I had already left Allegiant over poor leadership, and that's really the common denominator to a lot of things that we're going to talk about here. And I had just realized that I just really hated the game. I was hating the game. I kind of hated the game a long time ago. I technically kind of wanted to quit years and years ago, but of course, this channel, looking at the players that just really just were looking for somebody to help, and again, just to be honest and treat them like humans first, and no matter what level, no matter high, low, just just we're people first. And so, going back to the Legion that I was handed, not knowing what I was doing, my Marine Corps experiences kicked in. I had a Legion with 20 players sitting in there. I did not know what the hell I was doing, and neither did they, but I just instantly felt responsible. Like I was handed a leadership position, and my Marine Corps background kicked in, and I started learning the game and wanted to learn the game because I felt bad for this team that was just kind of thrown to the curb, but kind of lucky for them that it was thrown to me. And so, got into the game, started learning it, got into Planet Wars, as a small team, you're playing against other legions about your size. There wasn't so much cheating going on, and yes, cheating. Cheating meaning some of these big, medium legions are cheating the system. Wingfighter knows about this, and for all you small teams now, that's why you're being matched with these big teams, is by a cheat that the game has, and Wingfighter's allowed. I think one of the big reasons why they do it too is these egotistical, gigantic legions do not want to fight each other, and they just want to sit on their thrones and look down at us, we tiny little players, and just kind of sad how that works. But yeah, there's cheat in the game, and that's why your matching is so horrible, especially on Planet Wars. But going back to my little story, how did I get into this? So obviously started growing, and our first my first Legion, we named it Galaxy Quest, and learned a lot, started getting some good players, started growing, and the bigger that we got, the more I started learning the game. I obviously started investing a little bit. I felt a little responsible to, protecting the team, and I needed to know this a little bit better. So I did start investing a little bit of money, I wouldn't say right out of the gate, but especially being the leader, now I just felt kind of obligated to, just being the protector. And once we got a little bit bigger and we had some other good players, we went into another Legion called Battlestar Elite. And this is where started getting better. And it came to a point where I was tired of talking to the players and saying the same thing over. So I started with little tiny videos on Discord. You guys know you can't make very long videos on Discord. And players were always arguing about this, that. And I'd always make little videos. And finally, somebody said you should just start a YouTube channel. And I did not want to start a YouTube channel. I could barely even run Discord and barely even run Wingfighter. I wasn't exactly the most tech savvy on the phone. I understood computers and stuff like that. But gaming on the phone was kind of new to me a little bit with Wingfighter. I was playing other shooters, but this was a little bit more complicated of a game. You're kind of forced to join a Legion. And, if I would have known that there was team events on Wingfighter, I probably never would have joined the game. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not a big team player. I've never liked games like that. There's just always a lot of problems. Boredom can set in. Yes, you can meet some good friends and stuff, but just never really liked the team aspect. It only takes one player to ruin a team, and it only takes one bad leader to make the team miserable. And, I'll say that right out the gate. But of course, I was in the leadership, had a great team. I did. couple players that were tolerable. And you heard what I said, tolerable. So, you sometimes have to, and I understand with the other legions and teams, it's hard to find players. It's hard to find bigger players. And sometimes you have to sacrifice, do I have the right players on the team or not? And some have good attitudes, some have bad attitudes. And that's kind of a problem with the game is, and especially now, is the lack of players. So many more players are just leaving the game, and it's getting harder and harder to find untainted players. And the players that you get probably have had lots of bad experiences in other legions. And don't let anybody joke you. I've been to countless legions. I've seen it, just revolving doors in every single legion. Players just, it's tough for a player. It's tough because some players want more. Some players need more out of the leader. Some players want to advance faster. Some players want to actually play in the events. And what do I mean by events? Not have to bow down to other legions. And we'll get a little bit more into that here in a little bit. But it can be tough. It's tough to be a leader. It is tough to be a leader. And especially a good leader, and especially a leader that's not afraid to move the team forward and not afraid to piss somebody off. And that's where to find in any legion is a leader that's not afraid to piss somebody off, to make the other team move forward again and be a little bit happier. So, one thing that I started noticing a lot was how members, some don't like each other, some don't like the leader, and there's a lot of backstabbing and a lot of excuse my language again, guys, it's gonna get a little crazy here. Again, I was a Marine, so but a lot of shit talking, a lot of players talking behind each other's backs, and I saw that right out the gate of the game, and especially being in a leader. And that's always been a part of this game. And that's one aspect that I always truly hated about Wing Fighter itself, was the whole aspect of being a leader, and then, having to determine who do we kick off, or just because of negativity. And I get it. I was a leader for a year and a half. It came to a point, all we had was Planet Wars. But I ended up opening the YouTube channel. Really, it wasn't going to be opened for the public in any way, shape, or form. I didn't open it for the public. I opened it so that I could train new players. I didn't have to keep saying the same thing. And then I started noticing a lot of flaws with the game. And, talking with other players, especially in the main Discord, these players love to argue. They just love to argue. And I started hating the main Discord almost out of the gate. It's almost like you could say anything, and then you're going to have some player just talking out their ass, wanting to argue about it. You didn't have any video proof to say, well, this is what I'm seeing. And it was just always an argument, just always. And let me see something here. I saw something. As a matter of fact, I just went into the Discord today before making this video, and it's so common to see players upset with other players and fighting with other players, and teams hating each other. And so don't let anybody fake you out like Wing Fighter is this great place and all the players are so happy. It's a great community, and it's probably the worst community I've ever seen in my life. It's worse than Facebook, and like I said, the political side, and it's pretty bad. So, I mean, you can get inside of your legion, and not all legions are bad, guys, so please do not get the wrong impression what I'm saying. Most of the players in the legions are super cool. They don't want to be caught in the bullshit normally. They are caught into it. They wish their leader was doing better. They wish they didn't have this player on the team, and it's just really sad, but if you're in a legion, you guys all get along. That's pretty damn rare, because even if you think you're getting along, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a player talking shit about you somewhere. There's going to be another player from another team that you don't even know that you offended talking shit about you. There's always going to be another team that you offended in Planet Wars, and there's always going to be a team talking shit about you. And it is what it is, and nobody can deny it. Nobody will ever deny that to me. I've seen it all. From being a leader to playing with other teams. It's a rotten place, and a lot of it is Wing Fighter's fault. And we'll get into a little bit more of that. But what did I see? So I just saw this today. I mean, just as an example, this is why I never really went into the main Discord. Again, it was always an argument. But right here, nice try turning my legion against me. But unfortunately, you failed, like you are a failure in your life. You will never succeed in your life by hurting others. Wow. This is what I saw today. You guys can go into Discord and go see it yourself. And wow. But Wing Fighter community is a great community. You'll hear that from very bad players that are spewing venom, talking shit behind other players' backs, but they'll demand that the Wing Fighter community is such a great community. And interesting that I found that, right, guys? What else? What else did they say? Maintaining relationships with hypersensitive, hyper-skeptical people is a lot like walking on eggshells, especially via text-based communication. Very, very, very interesting comment there. Me personally, I'm a huge fan of talking on the phone. I was always a huge fan on talking on voice, Discord voice. And one of the reasons being is you can hear my emotion. I can hear your emotion. The thing about social media is there is no emotion into the cold words on the screen. Depending on that person's attitude that day reading it, you could say, "Hi, I hope you're having a great day." And that person can turn around and be like, "Are you talking shit to me?" Just because they're in a bad mood. They read it wrong. And now all of a sudden there's a fight. And what a crazy little thing for them to say. And very, very admirable that they're in the Discord, but they don't understand, though, that going into that Discord, it's going to be a bunch of trolls. Your name's out there now. You're probably on the good Wing Fighter friendly community list now of somebody complaining about how Wing Fighter in the community really is. And so now you just put a little target on your back because you said something. And I think this is admirable. I love how it says text-based communication, because you heard what I just said. Text-based communication. Most players don't even read it right. If that player again's in a bad mood, they're going to read it wrong. All of a sudden you're in an argument. Now you're leaving a legion, and now you're a bad person. And generally, one thing that I found is if you leave a legion, that legion is always going to talk shit about you. The leaders are upset that you left. They're embarrassed. Literally, it just comes back to the leaders will be embarrassed because they lost a player. They're going to take that very to the heart. And even if they say they don't, they do. But that player is now going to be on the bad list of that legion. Well, of course, I get it. But with Wing Fighter, it goes to a little extreme. And now that player left. That player's talking shit about that legion, going into the next legion. And then you have this revolving door of players. You heard what I said, revolving door. I mean, I don't know of too many players. Now, there are players that have stuck it out with the same legion. And the reason being is they didn't want to get involved into this revolving door, for one. Some love the legion and are, very hardcore about staying in one place, and that's admirable too. It really is. There's nothing wrong with that. But a lot of these players, they will take the bad, stay on a team just for the comfort, even though it's bad. You heard what I said, for the comfort. And people get comfortable in their lives. They stay at their job that they hate forever, and sometimes they don't want to take risks. They don't want to risk trying something new. And so, but what a crazy little thing here. And like I said, I just saw this today. I was getting ready for the show, and I decided just to pop into the Discord, which I always did, just to see if there's anything positive. And nope, here we go, right here. And they're not wrong at all. They're not wrong at all. And so, you know, so going back to my legions, and me growing, I started growing a little bit faster than everybody else. I was buying into the game, and I kind of felt like I was leaving everybody in the dust. I started making videos, and Planet Wars, I'll tell you guys a really funny one. I started figuring out little hacks. And back in the day with Planet Wars, you could sit on a purple planet, and they had a timer. You could sit on a planet for an hour before being attacked on just about all planets. I think the P5 was open to not doing that, but the P4s were. And so I found the hack right away. Nobody told me about it, nothing. I started figuring out, wow. So if I leave 58 minutes and just jump onto that planet over and over and over, I can collect some pretty serious team points and individual points. It got so serious for me that I wanted to see how long I could stay on that planet every hour or 58 minutes and leave and jump back on there. I managed to do it one time all 4 days, and my wife hated me. I actually ended up sleeping on the couch, but I set an alarm every 58 minutes for 4 days, and I actually was practicing this for quite a while. A lot of the other legions started catching on, and a lot of the other legions and players were pissed off, like, this is a cheat code. They didn't know what was going on. They didn't know that, I guess they didn't put two and two together, and I guess they were watching me doing this, and a lot of players were like, oh, this is cheating. This is some kind of coding, and it wasn't. It was just setting your alarm. And so a lot of players caught on to that. And if you did not catch one of those planets, you were not getting on any planet, especially when everybody caught on to this. And then Wingfighter ended up changing that whole system because it was abused. And so leading into me starting to figure out just little hacks of the game, that was one of my first little self hacks that I started doing, was in Planet Wars in my second Legion. And like I said, I started growing a little bit faster than everybody else, and eventually Star Scramble came out. And when Star Scramble came out, God, I absolutely hate Star Scramble. I have always hated Star Scramble. Even the community itself, when Star Scramble came out, there was a flock all over Discord of players saying, this is a Legion killer. There was a mass of players that quit because of it. There was a mass of players of, you want to talk about a revolving door at the time. Players fighting with each other, teammates hating each other because they weren't showing up. The players just didn't know how to play it. And it was a disaster. I don't know if some of you guys remember just those days, the first days of SS, and most players hated it. Again, it was called the Team Killer new game into the Wingfighter, and it was a disaster. I was already leading the legions. I was kind of tired of leading a legion because I didn't necessarily care about being a bad guy. I didn't really have to be a real big bad guy in running my own legions. Had some good vice leaders. There was never really a lot of fights. A lot of the teams that we were facing were pretty close to us. There were times, and even back then, the matching sucked, guys. Like, even back then, we were getting bully teams, and I started hating the game a little bit because of the bully teams. And, because of the bully teams, it started pushing me to just wanting to be a better player and to protecting my team and protecting other players. And, I started growing pretty rapid due to that. And so, but when SS came out, again, I was the leader again, and just came to a point where, I didn't have a lot of problems. There wasn't a lot of fights and stuff on my teams at all, but there was a lot of chasing down. That was the aspect that I started not liking about being a leader. And so being a leader on the team is tough, and it is. And I was a leader. I don't know if a lot of players knew, I did have my own teams, and I was a leader. So I understood the whole aspect of that. But, going into SS, Star Scramble, God, I hated it. I didn't want to be a leader anymore. I was bigger, way bigger than most of the team members, and I felt like I was kind of hurting the team at that time. I just felt like I needed to be with a little bit bigger of teams. I felt like I didn't really. I knew the game, but I just felt like I was missing something. I just felt like, I could learn more if I finally just, said, hey, somebody else run the team, and I'm going to go out into the world of Wing Fighter and just experience it in a whole different way. I had my YouTube channel making videos and stuff. I was finding little glitches in the game and a whole bunch of other things. I was able to make videos and explain, well, this is what I'm doing on the Titan. This is how I'm doing, and all the things that you guys are seeing. And I had finally opened up Wing Fighter Talk to the public. Again, you heard what I said. I didn't do the videos for the public at all. It was more to just train the team, and I was just tired of saying the same thing over and over. So initially, I didn't care about being, a YouTuber, and I still don't even consider myself a YouTuber, if you want to know the truth. And so I finally opened it up to the public, and the response was pretty instant. One thing that I'm super proud of is, you heard what I said. I started like really staying away from the main Discord. Just players just wanted to argue about everything. I learned pretty quickly, I didn't want to put my videos in there, because I already knew putting my videos in there, especially, there's going to be countless players just talking shit. Just, I'm going to cut to the chase. I'm going to say it out loud. So I stayed away from the main Discord. And even to this day, it is very rare that I've ever said anything into the main Discord. Even to this day, I've caught a couple of people talking shit, and I've caught them, and I went in there and obviously said what I needed to say. And that's one thing about me is, if you got something to say it. If I got something to say, I'm going to say it. Going back to the Marines, I am trained to take teams and win, mentally and physically. That was my job as a Marine, is staying alive and helping people and helping teams. So I knew how to run teams, and I knew how to, take failures and take the bad and turn into a robot, literally turn into a robot, and figure out how I'm going to beat that player, either in a debate or the game itself. And so there's a big aspect of why I brought up the Marines to you guys. I was highly trained in a lot of different areas to win. And winning isn't always everything, but, what is this game? It's called Wing Fighter, not Woke Fighter. Well, it is now, but Wing Fighter. You're fighting. You're taking your teams into battles, and I did somewhat like that aspect, but I just began hating being the leader, because I didn't want to chase people down. And so I ventured off into the world of Wing Fighter itself now as a player. I had already somewhat had established YouTube channel. And there was a really bad negative side to having the Wing Fighter channel. They put a gigantic target on my back, and immediately, and you heard what I said, I didn't want to go into the main discords because why? Everybody just wanted to argue, just always argue. Your videos aren't great. You didn't do the you didn't do it right. Your videos are flawed. I mean, of course, but the friendly Wing Fighter community, everybody talks about that I've never seen. And again, not discrediting good players. There are friendly players. There are a lot of good players and friendly players, but they're very rare to get them to talk because they know what I'm saying. But my videos were scrutinized in the Wing Fighter public discords, and I kind of was a bad guy before anybody even knew who I really was, and I had a big target on my back right away from doing that YouTube channel. And you guys heard what I said. I just did it to help out the team, and I started realizing that other players were having a hard time, getting answers, and I was having a hard time getting answers. It was hard for me to go into the discords and ask a question without somebody laughing or, putting me down, giving troll answers, because they thought it was funny to give bad advice. And, but this is again, what everybody, the Wing Fighter community. Yeah, the Wing Fighter community. Yeah, such a great place. Let me tell you, just an incredible place. The community of hostages. Now you're starting to see why I'm saying hostage to the community. You got these players that are now starting to hold the community. I started learning that the players are holding the community hostage. If you didn't agree with them, their ideologies, and with some of the bigger teams, you were going to be on a hit list, and you were going to be a bad guy. So I don't think I ever was a good guy to the Wing Fighter community, like ever. Again, had a big target on my back the whole entire time because of my videos. And pretty much immediately when I started joining other legions, immediately, as soon as I would get into there, they would find out that I was Wing Fighter Talk, and the real fun really began for me with players immediately wanting to ask a question. But you'd think they would be asking questions, for friendly conversation, and by all means, they were never friendly questions. They were questions to open up an argument every single time. Just, yep, you're doing it wrong. You're wrong. I'm right. And it literally, even to this day, has always been a curse for me. Always. Everybody just wants to argue. And so I went through quite a few legions just because I didn't want to be attacked, and I didn't want to argue in front of the legions. And when you argue, you're automatically a bad guy again. I mean, it's so easy to be labeled a bad guy. Every one of you players are a bad guy, and for the players walking around like you think this community likes you, I can guarantee you there is somebody talking shit behind your back. It's very, very, very toxic, and so a lot of players won't admit this, especially in the public, because what happens? You admit something in the public, and now that such friendly community, you just put a target on your back. So the whole community's fake smiles. Do not dare go against the grain. Do not dare to question something. Do not dare to say that there's a different way to play the game. Do not dare to say that player's wrong. Do not dare to question the leadership. Do not dare to, I can keep going and going and going, guys. So right out of the gate of me leaving my legion and going into other legions, it was just hell. I'm not gonna lie. I absolutely hated it. And I I you went to different legions, just trying to find a legion that was just somewhat normal. And there were normal players in these legions, but there was just always a dirtball in a legion. There just always is a dirtball. Either it's the leader, a vice leader, or just one or two players that just make it miserable for everybody. Um, it started coming to a point that, with me playing with different legions and stuff, other players started really realizing who I was, and the YouTube page was getting more and more popular. And why was it getting more and more popular? Because I treated players like players. I didn't treat them like, hey, I'm above you, or I treated everybody like equals at all times. I never went into a legion ever to argue. And the more I started, getting into the whole legion thing and trying to find a legion to, settle down with a little bit and just not be scrutinized and let's argue all the time. It came to a point where, and this is a good point though, I never asked to play with any legion, ever. I have never, ever, ever asked to play with a legion. I know that sounds crazy. I played with countless legions, and did you guys hear what I said? I never, ever, ever asked to play with a legion. I was always asked, once they started figuring out who I was, and the videos, even though Wing Fighter community hated them, the community outside of Wing Fighter loved them. And yeah, really strange how that works, that the people outside of the community coming into the Wing Fighter talk show and watching these videos absolutely loved them. And just funny how that works. And so I started becoming known, because of obviously the YouTube channel. It was a little blessing doing it and, meeting players that way, but it was the biggest curse of my life, playing actual Wing Fighter and playing on these teams. But, a real thing to say here, I never asked to play on anybody's legion. There'd be players that would leave legions and join other legions, and some players would know me from the YouTube channel, and there would always be a player or a leader or somebody in my Discord. Hey, if you don't like where you're at, why don't you come play with us for a little bit? Can you come help us? Can you help us with SS? Can you help us with this? And it actually became really overwhelming. I mean, there was a point in time, and I'm not even joking. I mean, I had 30, 50 requests at a time of legions, and I would have to tell them, like, I'm with this legion, everything's going pretty good. If something goes bad, so I always had a place to play. If something went bad with the legion, I had told other legions, yeah, if something goes bad. And so I kind of felt obligated to playing with all these legions. I don't think what these legions really knew, especially in the beginning of me, just kind of going around trying to learn the game, learn their systems, give my input, make other videos, is the simple fact that I was never going to stay at a legion ever. I guess I think I told a couple of legions that I'm probably not going to stay. I will come in and help you guys, and once you guys get the hang of it, once it gets stagnant, once I get bored, more likely I'm going to leave. And I was up front with quite a few legions, and it got so bad at one point, going into legions and just having just players come, oh, your Wing Fighter talk, let me ask you a question, and just immediately fights, or not even fights. I'd put up with it for a little bit and stuff, and let them kind of disrespect me in the middle of the legion and stuff. And just after a little bit, though, going back to the Marines, and I'm going to win. Of course, I'd get a little bit more aggressive, just kind of warning them, like, hey, chill, like chill. And then, I think what a lot of this boils down to is, other players want to win. I get it. Other players want to win. Other players want to be dominant. Other players don't like that maybe somebody else is better than them or maybe knows something more than them. And so, I've always chalked it up to these players kind of want to figure out how they can beat me in a different way. Maybe because I'm a higher level, but they're a lower level. Hey, I can go in there and beat them with my knowledge of Wing Fighter. And I think that was a really big portion of what the psychology was behind these players and the attacks constantly on, I'm going to ask you a question, and if you don't, and a lot of times what would happen is the players just didn't like what I had to say back. I'm not lying to you. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm just telling you that this is the way I see it. I have the videos to prove it. And what was even crazier is I have videos to prove when I'm telling you, you can watch the video and they'd still be in denial. Like, no, that video's flawed. I'd do it 10 different ways. Oh, that's flawed there. I did it 100 different ways. Nope, that's flawed. And it just literally was a curse of mine, even to this day, a curse. I came to a point where I just didn't even mention the channel at all. It was pretty rare that I would actually put the videos into anybody's legions. It was pretty rare. If I did, I would ask, do you guys want to see this? I found something kind of crazy, and yeah, I put it in. And sometimes that was a big mistake. Oh, you did the video wrong. And I just cannot tell you guys the curse of this. Yeah, it's really sad, actually, like super sad. So I always, from the beginning of me playing this game, outside of my legions, I ran I was a target, and it was pretty easy for somebody to say, he's a bad guy. He's not agreeing with me. And I started the fight, but he called me a dick. He called me, he told me some bad words, and oh, he's a piece of shit. And wow, he's aggressive. And it's like, really? I guess I was aggressive at the end of it, of each one of these, because you know why? I was going to beat you mentally, physically, and on the game. And so that's why I brought up the Marine Corps and let you guys know kind of, my mentality on this. And I would be cool with it for a little bit, and disrespect would start happening, which is very common, very. But let's say this out loud again here, guys. What triggered a lot of the conflicts with me? What triggered it? What was it? Me just coming out and just saying, "Hey, you guys are dicks. Hey, fuck you guys." And that never happened, ever. A lot of the times I'd be in some of the better legions and be there for a month or two and smooth sailing. Never really talked a lot and stuff. Always trying to be friendly. Always trying to just give a little tip just to fit in with the team and stuff. And eventually, this is what would happen. Is player would start getting a little bit more disrespectful, and I'm getting a little bit more disrespectful, but it always started with somebody else saying some crazy shit, like the bottom line, always, like. And unfortunately for them, they would learn lessons about their lives. I am good at saving facts. I'm very good at like keeping the story straight and screenshots, and I've always been good at that. I forgot to tell you guys, I own two businesses. I own the DJ company. That's still going. But I own two businesses, and there's times that I work 7 days a week. Like, I've done that most of my life, believe it or not, guys. I'm a super hard worker. I own a carpet cleaning business, and I own a water damage business with two other partners, and we work our asses off, and I'm very proud of that. I've always done pretty okay in my life. I'm not super rich by any means, but obviously, as you guys can see, I've always done pretty good in my life. And so, leading into that, um, I've always known how, from the Marines to working super hard, social medias, the DJ companies, uh, I know how to beat you. I'm going to beat you in an argument. If it needs to go to, other levels, I'm okay with that. I was a Marine. You're not offending me. You're not offending me. I'm not offended. I was never mad about it, in all honesty, ever. Just another challenge. It's just another way to win, unfortunately, to say it that way. Unfortunately for them, I was trained to do this. And did I ever really want it to be that way? No. But was I good at it? Absolutely. Like one of the best in the business. But again, going back to the conflicts and what was causing a lot of it, disrespectful players, and again, what started it? Your question, and you not liking what I had to say to you, then you started getting disrespectful, and this was a big majority of what was happening on a lot of the teams. Not all of them, well, pretty close. Not necessarily about the YouTube channels, but it kind of got so bad. And I had this list of legions that I felt obligated, and I was gonna wanting to go play with eventually if something went bad, or the legion was doing good and they didn't really need me anymore, which never happened. These legions obviously wanted me to come in there to be their powerhouse and to give them a better edge against the bully teams. You heard what I said, the bully teams. And so I stayed away from the mega teams. And why would I do that? Why did I not want to play with the mega teams? Well, one, boredom. Boredom. I didn't want to sit on a throne and look down and treat other players like peasants. I didn't want players to come to me thinking they had to kiss my ass because I'm on this mega team. Going through Wing Fighter and playing with medium and small teams. I don't want to mention any Legion's names quite yet, but I just noticed diplomats. There's going back to that diplomat word that I said in the beginning here. Diplomat. Somebody that kisses ass, somebody that sucks dick. But a diplomat could actually be somebody else, a mob boss, also into that term, and started seeing a lot of mob bosses, basically, and these guys going around trying to collect their taxes, and if you don't do this and you don't do that, and a lot of it was coming from all the gigantic teams, and these teams I'm playing for, they're looking for a good guy, they're looking for a good player to help them combat these bigger players and teams, and became a passion of mine to not play with the bigger teams. And of course, you do that as a bigger player, especially you start getting a bad name within the bigger legions. I was already used to it. I've always had a bad name technically in the game from day one. Not necessarily day one, but especially after I left my legions. And so I've always had a bad name, always. Basically fuck Panthro, and he might be too good to play in our legion, or a lot of these bigger legions I don't think wanted me to play with them because they knew I was going to spot their bullshit immediately. It didn't take me long getting into any legion and being able to immediately, with my training and owning businesses and DJ companies, it didn't take me nothing but a second to spot the bullshit. It just, that was kind of a curse for me too, is because it didn't take me anything to spot bullshit. I mean, I just was really good at it. And yeah, sad guys. And, you know, this isn't the best show. I'm just going to scroll through some things here. I could have did this a little bit differently, but kind of wanted this to be authentic and just to be able to show you guys, you know, some stuff into real time here. And remember, you can always walk the fuck away. The game ends when you stop playing. We're not quite to that point of this story, but you know, if you want things to end, and you're gonna have to take some type of course of action. But yeah, I had a lot of obligations with so many legions. I just cannot even tell you guys. And even having bad experiences with other legions, these other legions didn't give a shit. They were like, "Hey, it's going to be different with us. It's going to be way different. We got a really chill legion. We got really cool players." And that was every legion that, you know, asked me to play with them. And it got so bad that I actually have a set of rules that I always give to a legion before I started. Yeah, I had a set of rules because of how bad it just got. Stating, I am not your leader. I do not want a leadership position ever. I am not here to lead your team. That was rule number one. Rule number two was, do not let your players ask a question or argue with me in the public legion. That was rule number two. Do not let people argue with me. I'm not here to argue with you. I'm not here to be better than you. I'm not here to say I'm right. I'm not here. And I had a set of rules. Number three, if you got a problem, do not tag me in the middle of the legion. Do not start talking shit. Do not start asking questions and then turning them into bad discussions. Number four, again, if you got an issue, you got something to say, you private message me off to the side. Do not do this in front of the team. Do not do this in front of the team. And that rarely happened. It would for like the first month or two and stuff. Everything would be pretty, you know, okay. But it just would start getting, again, out into the public. But, you know, one of the other things is I had players constantly. This is another thing that always happened. Each and every single legion that I went to, there was somebody private messaging me. One, three, half the team would always private message me off to the side saying, yeah, we hate the leadership. We hate this vice leader. This player sucks. This player's an asshole. If the leader starts talking shit to you, just ignore it. If the player starts talking shit to you, just ignore it. Every single legion I went to, there was private messages of how the team actually felt, but the teams, they didn't want to get involved. They didn't want to be on that bad side of the wing fighter because, again, it's so easy to become a bad player in the wing fighter community. You leave a legion. Again, you heard what I said in the beginning there. It is so easy to be a bad guy. And, you know, this is just kind of right here the type of shit that players would message me all the time. I could be here for days telling you guys stories, and I could be here for days with just crazy shit that you guys wouldn't believe. And, you know, if you're hearing something from the wing fighter community, players, leaders, make sure that they're telling the whole story. You know, the common thing that I've always seen is people take screenshots of what, hey, Panthro is a dick. He called me an asshole. Told me to go fuck off. Yeah, sure, I did. But did you show the full story? Are you sure you told the full story of how we got to that part? A lot of times that was in private messages. A lot of times there was a few times, of course, that would carry over, especially if the leader or somebody tagged me in the middle of the legion, which I warned, do not tag me into your, it's not going to go good. It's not. And I guess, a lot of players and leaders, and I guess they took it as a challenge. And what always happens? They always lost. I didn't give a shit, guys. I'm sorry. I'm going to say it out loud. I didn't give a shit. If that's the way you want to go, I'm going to humiliate you. I'm going to do what? Beat you into your mental warfare that you started. And I'm the wrong person to do that. And you were pre-warned to do that. And I have no regrets in any way, shape, or form with any player that came at me like that and then learned a little lesson about their life and was humiliated by, I don't know, thinking that they were going to be, I don't know what the hell they're thinking. So, but all the time, guys, all the times. And what's really sad about it is I've had so many great interactions with players, and 9 out of 10 times it was never the players' fault on the teams. And I really loved a lot of the players that I played with on the teams, and because of messages and, hey, can you help us? Can you please say something about the SS? Can you please help us with better rules? Can you please tell that player to go fuck off? Can you please tell the leader to go fuck off? And just crazy shit, guys. Just crazy. Just all the time crazy. I was the savior, or supposed to be the savior to everybody's legion. I'm supposed to be the point guy. I'm supposed to be the savior of everything. I'm supposed to be the diplomat of the legion. Did you hear the word I just said? The diplomat of the legion. And that's cool. I'll be a tiny bit of the diplomat at first, but again, it's just always some crazy shit. Always like something crazy. Always some player messaging me off the side. And what's sad about what I was saying is I loved a lot of the players that I actually played with. I loved a lot of the teams and some of the players on there, and got along great with a big majority. And it just always became sad to think that you're friends with somebody. I've had so many players that would message me off the side, hey, can you help me? Help us with the team, but can you help me? And can you guide me? And there's not one message ever that I did not answer, ever. From the smallest player to the biggest player too. I have always taken time for every single player in this game that's asked for help. I'm a very caring guy, believe it or not. I am a very nice guy, extremely nice. I will give you the shirt off my back, but if you cross me or you start talking shit, or you're gonna be in for a rude awakening. And what did I say earlier? I'm trained to win. I'm going to win. I'm with facts and with honesty. That's the other thing about this. I was always honest. I have never had to lie about anything into the game. I've never had to lie about a situation. If anybody ever had a question about what really happened, here's the screenshot. Here's the truth, and how I've always beat everybody in, especially the Wing Fighter game, into conflicts is truth. Well, what do I have to lose by lying? What do I have to gain necessarily? The truth has always been my biggest weapon in life. Even before the Marines, always been a very direct, very honest person. I just don't need to ever backpedal or have to worry about making something up. The truth is generally spicier and more interesting than an actual lie. Unfortunately, this world, especially now, the woke world, woke wing fighter, is built on fake smiles and rough politics. And again, you don't agree with me, fuck you. But that's the wing fighter great community that everybody talks about. And now, again, going back to players, can you help me, and becoming friends with players off to the side. Really thought I had some good relationships with some players, and then finding out off to the side or even in the public they're talking shit, and it's like, dude, I've been nothing but good to you. I've been nothing. So I'm going to throw one player recently that went in Discord and got on a little bandwagon of, oh yeah, Panthro this, Panthro that, and uh, right here, Jay thought he was a really good friend and just started talking shit in Discord. And what have I been saying to you guys? There's always somebody talking shit about somebody else. And I gave him a reminder, and I posted this into the Discord while I was saying, I was like, Jay, dude, I mean, we're good friends, but I thought we were, but here you were talking shit, and you were always talking shit about somebody. And I guess I should have known, a little heartbroken a little bit, but at the same time, right here, dude's talking shit about somebody else, and this is a part of the game, especially for you new players that don't know about this game and about playing on teams. And the more higher of a legion that you go, the more shit talking there's going to be, the more rules, the more regulations, the more everything. It's going to be miserable, and hopefully you don't get tainted and get involved into that and then think that that's a cool part of your life. Is this how you guys are outside of Wing Fighter? And I've always said the way you play Wing Fighter is how you are on the outside. You guys can call it a game. Hey, don't take it so serious. And believe it or not, I've never taken this game that serious. Believe it or not, I've never taken this game that serious. I'm good at games. I'm good at mental games. I'll play however you want to play, and I'm not taking it personal. As a matter of fact, I'm a very forgiving person. I don't ever have a vengeance. Maybe short-term vengeance. I'll teach you a lesson, but I'm not going to beat a dead horse with somebody. I don't have time for that in my life. I've never been like that in my life to where, I'm carrying problems all the time and mad about things. I've never truly been mad in this game, guys. Believe it or not, ever been mad. No matter what you're reading on that screen, or more than likely, I was just laughing or figuring out, how am I gonna fuck this dude over? How am I gonna word this to make sure they don't forget to be careful who they're talking to, for one. Number two, don't treat people like that. Number three, so I was given life lessons through how endings of things were going with players and leaders and leaving legions. If it got to that point, I was very methodical about it, believe it or not. And I'm going to say something very deep. I'm very love psychology. Try to wrap my head around the psychology of this. Again, this game was about psychology and learning and trying new things and figuring out different aspects and little hacks. And so this game got really deep for me, and I don't think anybody realizes, yeah, it's a game, but you're making that excuse. It's not. You're here for a reason. We're all here for a reason. We want to leave the outside world. We want to leave the shitty outside with the politics, and we want to get away from the real social medias and the shitbag posts and negativity all day long. And so we get into a space shooting game to blow shit up and to release some pressure. And then when you realize that you're in a game that's worse than the outside world, I mean, what a failure on Wing Fighters, because a lot of this is going to go back to the design of Wing Fighter now. We can point fingers and blame each other and, this and that, but at the end of the day, by the way Wing Fighter's set up and how the teams are set up and letting bully teams happen, and I'm going to get a little bit more into that here in a second here, guys. So hopefully I haven't been boring you with any of this, but especially for the new players, This is the way it is. This is what you're gonna expect, and you're gonna be a bad player in this game to somebody, no matter what you do. So don't take that personal. Just know that that's gonna happen, and how you handle that is gonna be up to you. Um, you don't have to have conflict. You don't have to say anything. As a matter of fact, a lot of players just don't say anything because of everything that I'm saying to you. For me, I didn't really give a shit. I'm not the one needing a big player on the team. I didn't need your team. And I hate to say that out loud. I didn't need you. I didn't need your nanos. I didn't need anything from you. And here, I got one for you guys. Here. Here you guys go. There you go. I will suck your dick and kiss your ass for your Nano 12 and your CC. The other thing that was sad to me is that aspect. You got the lower players talking shit about the big players. The big players somewhat talk shit about the lower players. And the lower players, you guys are out here talking shit about the bigger players, begging for their CC and their N12s. Some of you players will actually cut somebody's throat for a Nano 12. Are you serious? That's the one thing that I never got into. I didn't need to. I bought into the game and I didn't need to play CC. I never even really played CC for the big majority of my game. I thought the CC was the biggest joke of the game. Now, for a free player, it's a very serious part of this game. But for me, I didn't need to sell somebody out. I didn't need to join your Legion for your nano collections and your. I just always thought that was a crazy aspect of this game. But how many players would literally cut your throat for a CC? But going back to arguing and I'm gonna win against a player. I'm gonna get pretty deep here on you guys. And what was I saying earlier? That I'm gonna teach you a lesson. You're not gonna forget what I said to you. And so I learned a long time ago that you can be nice about things. Yeah, sure, you're nice. And people aren't going to remember that nice. And it just goes with the media. It goes with what you see on the news. It goes with social media. And I learned this a long time ago promoting my DJ company, and I needed really huge stats. At one point in time, I had 16 million people going to my DJ website a month, melting servers. We're trying to go after super huge money contracts, and it came to a point where I needed stats. And by getting stats, I learned that when you're nice, you don't get stats. People don't turn their heads. They don't pay attention. But if you throw a fuck, if you throw a shit in there, you throw an asshole in that equation, you throw something offensive out there to get somebody's attention, to have a positive message. Did you hear how I just said that? Yeah, you can take negative posts and turn them into positive posts. Bad publicity does not mean bad publicity in a lot of cases. People talking shit about Panthro. Do you know you guys just promoted for me all the time? I want to check Panthro out. Let me go check his YouTube channel out. You guys were just bringing stats and bringing potential players to figuring out, actually, that guy's pretty cool. Just don't fuck with him. Talk to him like a regular person. And that guy's actually seriously trying to help people out. And I would gain a friend. So all you guys out there talking shit, you're only helping me. I mean, so here's the other thing about that. You put in a fuck and a shit and a, other thing that I learned about that is you can have an argument and you can have a huge fight with somebody, but by putting a fuck and a shit into those equations, one thing is you're probably going to piss that person off. And what happens when you piss somebody off, like piss them off? Generally, they want to go out and use that aggression to do something, usually to prove you wrong. They're mad. They're going to prove you wrong. They're going to keep that in the back of their mind for possibly the rest of their life. They're going to learn a lesson, and I'm going to prove Panthro wrong. And by that being imprinted into your mind, did you know that's probably one of the most positive things I could have ever given to you? Because hopefully you're taking that energy to become a better person. You're taking that energy to be a better player. You're taking that energy to do something with your life, even if it seems like it's negative energy. Guess what you're doing? You're not going to forget me. You're not going to forget what I said to you. And you're going to do something in your life. And I hope it's something positive. And I hope you take that energy and you do become a better player. And you do become a better person in life. And so I've always been a big, huge fan of psychology. And I'm a little bit smarter to this than anybody would ever realize how deep this could actually go on so many levels. I've studied the whole wing fighter community the whole entire time. I've saw the interactions, and I've seen it, guys. I've been watching the whole entire time, and I have been sitting here analyzing all of you, and just take that energy, take that bad energy, take that energy that you're pissed off about me with, and go do something good. Again, you guys talking shit, you're just promoting for me. I mean, let's be realistic here. You've never hurt me. I've never been hurt by it ever. Again, I'm just trained differently than everybody else, guys. I'm built for this shit. Like, I'm built for mass negativity. I'm built for I'm always the bad guy. I'm built to be the robot, and I'm built to win, and I'm built to beat you. And I hate to say that, but I'm just being honest with you. And so if you guys can take any of the aspects of what I'm telling you, apply it to your lives, apply it to your game playing. And I'm not saying go out there and ever be negative with anybody. I'm not even telling you guys go out and cuss at somebody. That's not the point. But I've had different experiences and to why and how I am using this on a whole different level than you can even realize. And so I'm telling you my secrets. Not only have I given you some of my wing fighter tips to playing the game, but to life. I've got a great life, guys. I've always had a great life. I am so blessed. I've got a great wife. I've had just an amazing time with DJing too, and that never was easy. Again, you heard what I said. Tons of negativity in the DJ industry, and tons of people talking shit. I mean, it's just that's all aspects of life. Get over it. Don't take anything personal, and learn from it. And if you are getting upset, push that into different areas, and just hopefully this does help you guys' life, and hopefully this gives you a better idea of what was going on with me and these legions. And let's see what else I got stored in here real quick, because I had a bunch of shit in here. Yep. Yeah, if you're gonna rattle my cage, you better make sure I'm fucking padlocked in. You guys got to be careful who you're dealing with. I mean, this is a game, but you get out into the real world and you're doing this in front of somebody. I mean, you never know what that person knows. You never know what they might be trained in, and you guys better like slow your rolls. You don't know what other people are capable of doing. Some of these people might be able to search you down on the internet, and that was one of my jobs back in the day. Also, is searching people down off of the internet, and I'm just fair warning to you. You guys got to be really careful. You never know who you're talking to, and you never know what they know. And have a little fucking respect. Like, seriously, you need to be careful, and careful who you're talking to like that. And try to keep things cool, because again, a lot of this stuff could have been avoided. A lot of the stuff with me and legions could have been avoided with better leadership, especially with my rules. You guys heard my rules, and leaders could have stepped in a little bit more and avoided a lot of the stuff. And, you know, it just always came back to they don't want to be the bad guy. Nobody wants to be the bad guy. It's so easy again to be the bad guy in the wing fighter community, and everybody's so afraid to be a bad guy. Let's see. So guys, I'm gonna show you something kind of funny here. Yeah, wing fighter fucked me over so many times. Like I ended up losing my Lyra burning drone on one of the major updates. They sold my Lyra. We're talking about, you guys know how expensive that can be to get a SR drone and time. And so let me be clear with you guys that I was always off to the backside of wing fighter, just cussing them out. I think a lot of times I was doing this because I wanted to see if wing fighter would actually kick me off the game. And I was, you know, I don't really get pissed that much, believe it or not. I'll make it like it looks like I am and stuff, but yeah, I wrote wing fighter and, you know, just asked them, hey, can you guys help me out? I mean, this is pretty serious shit. I just lost, you know, potential of thousands and thousands, $10,000 on this crazy thing that happened. And wing fighter right there basically came back and basically told me to go fuck myself, is literally what that was saying right there. And just to prove to you guys that, you know, I was kind of trying to get kicked out of wing fighter, but at the same time, with all the problems and bullshit that they're giving to the players and lying to the players and cheating them out, not giving some of the packs that you bought, I was always over on wing fighter's ass. And right here, you can see what I said to them, you know, begging them basically to help me out and treat me like a good player. And this is a good point right here too, into how wing fighter just has failed their players. They do not give a shit about the players. And I've always thought that maybe this was a weird government bad project of how far can we push people to the limit? How far can we push our players and just be complete assholes to the players? So if players think that I'm an asshole, I mean, what is wing fighter? I mean, these guys are like the epitome of assholes. So anything that I could be to a wing fighter player, why don't you start applying this towards wing fighter themselves? I mean, these developers and the game itself, what a trash game. And but here, guys, I was so mad that I didn't even care if I got kicked off. But this is what I would say. I would write wing fighter and, like, you know, see if I could get kicked off. And I wanted to make sure that wing fighter knew that, you know, the players are pissed. I'm pissed. And you can see right here. Oh boy, all I could do is laugh. Right here. Oh boy. So what else do I have? Okay, so now let's shift here a little bit. You guys got a earful of, you know, just some crazy stuff. You new players, you're in for a ride that you probably don't want. So maybe this video might shift you to saying, hey, I probably maybe don't even want to play this game, because wing fighter cannot control any of this. Their team setups and the way the game's played is causing a lot of problems. Them not being a good system to helping their players out when something's wrong. I mean, what a piece of shit game, man. What a piece of shit. Just everything around this has just been a piece of shit. But are you guys reading that? Please, Aeon, can we have 1 point in Hyper Battlefield? And so I'm going to shift gears majorly here. I'm going to tell you guys a couple of little stories here. And okay, you want to get down and dirty right now. Aeon and Pulley, you short pencil dick pieces of shit motherfuckers. You guys are the epitome of why wing fighter sucks fucking so much dick. You alone. You guys walk around like you're in a bad kung fu movie, going to a restaurant, to business, collecting taxes on these poor people just trying to play a game and demanding that you're going to take first. And if you don't do something, we're going to break the alliances with you. We're going to torture your teams. And if you do not do what we say, I've seen Aeon and Pulley go out and tell teams they can't even move off of their base or they're going to get attacked. I've seen Pulley and Aeon basically tell teams that if you take with this player, you're off of our allegiance. These fucking piece of shit, short dick little fucking motherfuckers here are the epitome of what's wrong with Wing Fighter. And let me see here. Let me go to mine and Pulley's little. Yeah, I had some interactions with them also. And Bob from Scorpius ended up leaving a while ago for a short amount of time. And Aeon was just I guess they just thought they were just going to be dicks. And of course, I was on the team and stuff. And I decided to be a little diplomatic. Oh God, here you hear me saying the word diplomatic, and I wasn't really diplomatic with them, but just going back to the fancy word of what some of these teams, and I'm going to give some special mentions real quick before this. So diplomats. Who were some diplomats in the game? Maddie from Venom, Uncle Bob from Scorpius, Jetfire from Top Gun. Who else? Diablo from Apex. Let me see. Who else? God, I can name so many diplomats. And what does diplomat mean again, guys? Here, you guys say it out loud with me. Dick suckers and ass kissers. That's what diplomat means, okay? So the game is forced to have dick suckers and ass kissers to go around to these mega legions to kiss their rings, suck their dicks, and kiss their ass. As a matter of fact, Bob tonight just wrote me, and it wasn't a great conversation. He basically told me I was, just making shit up all the time and all kinds of crazy shit. And I was actually really surprised because, I've tried to be cool with them and, I've tried to tell them, take some responsibility into your guys' poor leadership. What happened over there? Tell me what happened, Bob. You guys didn't live up to your words. You did not do. You lied to me, and you're a piece of shit, dude. And so all these diplomats, again, Jetfires and Maddies and little dick suckers. But the one thing that stood out to me tonight with Bob was we're basically forced to do this. This is a part of the game. Everybody has to do this. And you know what, Bob? No, you fucking don't have to do this. No, you don't have to get on your fucking knees for your little tiny, tiny coins. What are the rewards in Hyper Battlefield, guys? Pennies. Like pennies. And you're sitting here letting Pulley and Aeon fucking sit here and make you get on your fucking knees? Are you guys out of your mind? That's one thing that Aeon and the bigger legions could not get me to do. And why I was hated, especially with the bigger legions, is I was not going to fucking get on my knees for you guys, ever. And you knew it. And you knew if I came to your legions, I was going to see your bullshit and how you treat legions and how you treat people. And you want to talk shit about me? You fucking little pieces of shit, man. You guys are the epitome of what's wrong with this game. And you know what? It's Wing Fighter's fucking fault. Now, I don't even know if they know how fucking bad it is, but Aeon and Pulley's should be banned from this game. They have their rules of bullies and being disrespectful and all this shit that they have in their little rules and write-ups. And these little fucking pencil dick motherfuckers right here, you guys fucking should be banned from the fucking game. And fuck you, Pulley. little fucking piece of shit. You must have been a dude that fucking got beat up in high school. You must hate your job and or bullied by your boss, or I don't know what the hell your middle little game is here, but you are so fucking egotistical that you got to go around and bully all of these teams and tell them you're gonna take first, and you're gonna do it our way. You can't get off of you can't hire one of these other players to come in because we're threatened. Our little dick fucking legion is threatened by you. Did you know what, guys? These fucking little pussy motherfuckers are threatened by you. You do not have to suck their little dicks. You do not have to kiss their ass. These little motherfuckers, and Polly told me he didn't know that. He told me one of their little secrets of why they're such little pussy motherfuckers. But what they do is they go out and they intimidate you guys to where you don't even hesitate to fight them. Because what happens is they're so worried about keeping their gas for the end monthly. That way they can beat the shit out of you guys even more at the end of the monthly. So they do not want anybody fighting with them because they want to save their gas. And did you know if you guys just told them to go fuck off, that you would actually win the whole war? It doesn't mean you're going to win hyper battle. Who gives a fuck? All you're going to get, what, 20 coins? 30 coins? Are you fucking out of your guys' minds? Letting this little fucking pencil dick piece of shit fucking treat you like that? But you can see right here, I had my little conversations with them, and every time we just barely move or we do anything, Polly would be over off to the side. Oh, you took that little tower. Oh, you shouldn't have went to the core. Oh, my team's pissed off at you. I just couldn't believe it. Tried to be cool with them. I tried to be like level-headed with them. You guys can read all this shit right here. And right here, you're starting to see me. Yeah, that's bullshit, to be honest. And then here he is talking about how Aeon was fucking pissed. The players are pissed at us. And little medium team fucking no threat to them whatsoever. And they're so fucking worried about taking first. Fucking little piece of shit motherfuckers. And telling me why they're so mad at me. And right here, look what I'm saying to them, guys. It seems like you guys look for anything and everything to bitch at. Oh, and here he is, Panther. I feel you're starting to get upset. What? What, dude? And then right here, starting to threaten a little bit. Okay, bro, if you want to go that route, fine. I'm telling them, we didn't mean no disrespect, and you guys can read this yourself. And finally, look what I'm saying to them, guys. I'm not going to kiss your ass. I'm sorry. I'm not asking you for that. Yeah, you are. You're asking me to fucking submit to you and to kiss your fucking ass. The fuck you aren't. And so, yeah, I kept going and going. But at the end right here, maybe I should just read this to you. And like I said, this was going to be an X-rated end of the show, and for a good reason here, guys. And so this is what I wrote him. I just want to say to you, you are the smallest dick pussy bitch I've ever met in the game. For you to go around making teams bow to you is the most bitch ass egotistical shit I've ever witnessed in my life. I am happy I've never bowed to you or got on my knees like you make other poor players and teams do that are just wanting a fair wing fighter game. You're the biggest piece of shit walking on this earth, and I hope you choke on a dick. Fuck you and your whole tiny dick team holding the wing fighter community hostage. So why was my picture seeing the community is hostage? Right here, guys. This is, everybody's afraid of these mega teams, and these mega teams walking around like they're some mafia, and they have such a horrible life that they have to insist they take first. And guys, their biggest thing is you getting on, that makes them so fucking hard. I'm going to just say it, guys. That makes them hard. You guys getting on your knees is means more to them than actually taking first. And so if you guys would stop fucking playing this bullshit fucking woke ass fucking game that you're doing with these fucking little pencil dick pieces of shit, it would change the game. All of you guys, just fuck you. I don't give a shit if you beat me up. I don't care if we only last 15 minutes in the game. I'm going to walk out of this game with some honor. And I'm going to walk out of here with my head high knowing I did not get on my knees. And so all you diplomats, fucking Bobs and Jetfires and fucking fuck you guys too. Like literally, fuck you. Kissing ass. Your teams generally don't want you to kiss their ass. Your teams are generally telling you off to the side, we don't really give a fuck about this. We would rather play this game with dignity, and you little diplomats are subjecting your teams to getting on their knees and kissing ass. You guys should be ashamed of yourselves. Like literally ashamed. Is that what you do? Are you the co-worker or the worker at your job that everybody hates because you're kissing the boss's ass? Remember what I said? How you play this game is probably how you are in your real life. And I can almost guarantee you that these guys here are the ones that all the work employees hate because they're over there kissing the boss's ass. And you guys know what I'm talking about. But fuck this shit right here. This is really what I stayed in the game for the longest. I went into these medium and small teams just to piss these type of dudes off. I went in here to challenge myself and to actually play a game and to get into battles and not have to stay on my towers. And Hyper Battlefield, now you go in and play that with Scorpius, you got 12 allies and you literally for 30 minutes don't even get to play the game because you're so fucking scared of pissing somebody off. Is that even playing a game at this point? And shame on you, Wingfighter, period, for allowing this shit right here. You guys should absolutely ban Pulley and ban Aeon. I can name a couple other teams, but I'm going to just make this the highest example. Pulley, if you thought you were going to fucking act like you was going to like fuck me over, or fuck you, dude. So, yeah, everybody, little pencil dick fucking Pulley, fuck you, dude. And yeah, fuck you, man. So right there, this is what the whole Wingfighter community actually wants to say, but are too afraid to say it. And I've never given a shit. And right here, I even say it right here, fuck you and your whole tiny dick team holding the Wingfighter community hostage. Because that's what it is. The whole community is hostages to pissing somebody off, pissing off one of these big legions. And that isn't playing the game anymore. This isn't fun. This isn't fair. And this is Wingfighter's fault. And Wingfighter, you guys should show that a strong arm. And if you want to change this shit and make players happy and make this fair, you need to ban Aeon and Pulley. Fuck these dudes, man. Little pussies. Oh, and then Pulley, such a little bitch-ass little pussy, sends one of his diplomats over here. Sends one of his diplomats asking me, hey, can you not like say anything about Pulley and Aeon? Pulley's basically been really nice to me, and it's like, I don't give a shit if he's been nice to you. He's been a fucking piece of shit to every legion and player outside of your legion, and if you're associated with that shit, go fuck yourself. So I'm saying all the stuff that you guys I know want to say, and with me leaving and not giving a shit, and I'm saying it for you guys. But you guys got to stop playing this game like this. You guys got to start playing a game against each other. Have fun, but until this is fixed, and until you guys stop letting your diplomats go out and do more kissing ass than actually leading the actual legions, fuck that, man. But again, here's Pulley's little guy over here that he sent because he was too cowardly to respond to me. Yeah, so Yeah, right here, you guys asking me right here, best of luck. I hope you find a legion where you can enjoy the game. Sounds like uh, you and Polly's relationship won't be fixed. Me and Polly never had a relationship. It was him demanding to take first, don't move in the game, and don't go to other legions, or he will threaten to take away allies. I had to ask him, is this a joke? I mean, what in the hell, guys? I mean, what the hell, Wing Fighter? There should be a cap on legions. There should be a cap on how big a legion can be. Some of these legions need to be broken apart and even out the playing fields. There should be like some system of you can only be this big and force some of the bigger players into other legions. And there's so many different ways that you can do this. Hell, get rid of the whole team aspect of you're on the same team. Maybe even open up a side where you're throwing into a new team every single week. And that team has to figure it out together. And that way the teams are always even. I mean, there's so many different ways that you can do this, but this little going around fucking China shops and fucking bad kung fu movies and asking for your taxes, this is some bullshit right here. And you other players coming up and smaller teams, and this is what you have to look forward to. This is the real horse shit of the whole entire game right here. And then, of course, the little cheat code that I was telling you guys about. That's why these big teams are beating the shit out of these little teams. I mean, what a piece of shit game. And what a piece of shit community. You guys want to talk about a community. Our community. You don't have a fucking community. You got a fear-filled community ran by mob bosses here. Community. Yeah, your community is a gigantic hostage situation. And again, if you say anything in there, you're going to be a bad guy. So, yeah, fuck you guys, man. And I'll say it for you guys. And I apologize. I really sincerely apologize. But if I'm going to be mad at something, you guys have always known my YouTube channel and why I played on teams is to do what? Combat bullies. Yeah, if anything ever that pissed me off in life is bullies. And right here, yeah, fuck you guys, man. What a fucking joke, man. And let me see what else we have here, guys. I'm not done yet here because, yeah, a couple of guys thought they'd just walk out of here and I'm leaving. And yeah, the Wing Fighter community knew that I had one more video, and I noticed like not a peep. You couldn't even hear a pin drop in the Discord community right now because I think they were waiting to see what this last video was going to consist of. And, you know, let me just give another special shout out to a couple of people here. And maybe I'll start wrapping this up. But let me give a couple of other little shout outs here. And this is from Axion. Little experience, you know, I went over to Axion, was begged for months by some of the players. I met Tox. First couple of times I met him, I actually didn't like him. He fucked over the team that I was playing, acted like he was kind of a big shot, and I didn't really like him. So it took a couple of months for me to finally say I'd go over there. They're trying to make a bigger team to combat the bullies, and he wants a bigger team and blah, 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 blah. And so I finally went over there, and I wanted to like Tox and stuff. I really did. He talked a huge game. You always get those players again. You've heard me say it before. Talk this big game and spit out all these crazy numbers. And the one thing that I always learned is the more a player does that, the more full of shit they are generally. And Toxaholic is one of those guys. He thought he was safe, but some really stupid bullshit went down over there. Actually, everything went good for quite a while, except for the fact the way Tox would always talk to me and stuff. But I never got in a fight with him. I kind of just took it and was just like, you know, just whatever. But you can see one of their players writing me off to the side. I like what you seem to stand for and the way you handle yourself. Tox was a bit chasing and condescending a lot of times, but I just let it slide. I feel like he was threatened by you and would disagree with you in front. What does it say, guys? In front of everyone and discredit your ideas. And then here, look what I said, guys. All the time. Thank you for that. He totally threw me under the bus and to the side all the time. I never said anything about it. Huh, who would have thought? Who would have thought that Panthro actually was always pretty passive for a while? And, came to a point where Tox was like just giving such fucking bad advice. Oh my God, this guy has given so many players bad advice and told everybody to switch to electricals, which electricals ended up being just the worst thing to ever go to. Told people to get rid of gold skills that actually worked, but he insisted that didn't work. Fucked a whole bunch of people over like that. Some crazy shit went down with Axion where, again, don't talk to me crazy in the public chats. And one of their little players ended up just being very disrespectful. And I asked Tox about it and stuff, and he went and kind of reprimanded one of his leaders. Got caught, and I knew that he was like deleting public chats for a while, but I actually caught him. I don't think Tox knew. He actually believed in these people, and these guys were over here stabbing him in the back, doing all kinds of weird shit off to the side. That night, Tox needed a way out because the whole entire time he was on his way out, getting ready to fuck everybody over to go to Supreme. And yes, guys, there are teams out there that have developer privileges. They get special kickbacks and special privileges. And I know a lot of players are always wondering if that's true. And yes, it is true, 110%, that there are special teams that bully teams at that. And I always wondered how and why the desperation that Supreme had. And people want to talk about, hey, don't have that player come and play. Oh, that player fucked over these players. And hey, let's ban that player. But why in the hell would Supreme take Toxaholic? Because at the end of what happened, he used a situation, basically fucked over 60 players in the game, left everybody hanging, used this as his little simple excuse to do his scapegoat over to Supreme, and fucked all these players over in multiple ways. He always knew, though. He knew that I fucking knew that he was fucking full of shit. He fucking knew it. But I never really said anything until after everything went down. And what a piece of shit, man. What a coward. And, before I leave the game, I just want to make sure that, because there's 60 salty players about this. And this dude went over to Supreme, just hiding behind Supreme, going under this gigantic team to do what? Sit on a throne, bully other teams, look down on all the peasant players of Wing Fighter. And, dude, you're a fucking bitch, dude. Like, you're a fucking straight bitch. So, what a punk, man. And I just wanted to highlight him real quick. And, guys, I could highlight so many players, so many teams. But, I also want to say, though, there are some good teams out there. I know who you guys are. And, hopefully, if you guys stay, you guys got to fix some of this shit. You guys got to stop bowing down to these and just play. And if you get your ass kicked, hold your head out high and stop feeding into their egos. But Wing Fighter needs to fix this shit, like, completely. These mega teams and the bully teams, and they need to ban Aeon and Pulley. Like, if anything needs to happen, they need to be gone. Like, fuck those dudes, man. And Yeah, all you teams bowing down to them. What the fuck are you guys doing? Stop. So I've actually made players quit in this game. I played with Apex at one point in time, and Apex had a little legion called Clax, and Justine actually asked me to go over there because they were doing the same thing. Hey, we want to make a mega team and combat all these bully other teams. Went over to them and learned real quick what a piece of shit fucking this guy Abner was. Totally disrespected Justine, and I knew he was a piece of shit. But they had another player named Diablo, and some of you old school players will know who that is. And this dude was fucking schizophrenic or something. For 3 days straight, he was in my messages just continually, hey Panthro, I'm glad that you're on our team. Then like the next message, hey, fuck you, Panthro, and you need to apologize to me. And I didn't even know. I thought it was a joke, but had my little ordeal over with Clax and Apex. Let me see if I can find. Let me see something here. Let me show you guys. So I made a video, and actually, let me go back here. So, never got in a fight with anybody in the Legion whatsoever. Never even really said anything. Abner knew I didn't fucking like him. He knew that I knew he was a fucking big ass piece of shit. Reaper, fucking, I brought him over. He ended up selling me out. Sold his team out with his homie Darkhawk, also known as Darkbuck Plug. So let me give him a little shout out before I leave the game here. Again, Diablo, but never got in a fight with any of those guys. The shit with Diablo was so fucking weird with the messaging that I finally just said, you know what, I'm just gonna leave. I gotta leave. I've got to leave. And so I ended up leaving, and for like a month and a half, I had Apex's players coming over to me saying, hey, you see this, all the shit talking these motherfuckers are doing on you. Like, they are just talking shit. And I'm like, I never said nothing to anybody, again. And after a month and a half of seeing all the shit that they were talking, I finally, and here's the video right here, the description. So if you guys ever want to fact check and see if this is true or not. Finally had enough, and I'm like, you know, you want to be a bully? Let me see if I can bully you back. And, you know, going back to Roly Poly the bully, guess what, dude? You just got fucking bullied. Fucking little pussy motherfucker. Not to bring him up again, but same shit though. Apex, and finally had enough, and I ended up putting up a video about it and totally just, you know, called out fucking Abner. That dude's over there cherry picking from other teams, just degrading the whole team, laughing at them because they weren't spending money, all kinds of crazy shit. But I finally had enough, put a fucking video up about him. And the funniest part about the story is all three of these players, after a month and a half of me calling their ass out, making a video about them, ended up leaving the game. They pretty much had to. I mean, their gig was up, and I guess they thought they were bigger than Panthro, and I punked the fucking shit out of those guys. I hate to say it, but yeah, anybody always thinking that they're bigger and better, and what did I say earlier? You guys got to be careful who you're fucking with, because you never know what they're going to do, and you never know what they know, and you never know how powerful they actually might be. Don't underestimate somebody and think you're getting away with some shit and talking shit behind somebody's back. Be a normal person. Be a good person. You ain't got to worry about stuff like that. But little story there for you guys. Another experience. But, of course, I was always blamed for everything. And, hey, Panthro's a dick and an asshole. But little story about Apex. And now here's another part of the story, though. So those guys leave, And Arbiter and Maddie take over Apex, and they kept asking me, hey, it's a different Legion and blah, 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 blah. And I told them, I was like, look, the Apex has such a bad name for what they did to their players, and you guys are going to have to change your name. And they wanted me to play with them so bad that I made them change their name. Guess what they changed their name into? Venom. So go over and play with Maddie the Diplomat. And we'll go to Diplomat. And I don't even think Maddie's playing anymore because his diplomacy was so fucking crazy that, yeah, didn't he quit? I'm pretty sure maybe his mouth was hurting from, getting on his knees the whole entire time. I don't know. But anyways, they changed their name and went over and played with those guys for a little bit, one-man team basically, and it always came back to just poor leadership. Maddie and Arbiter themselves, just would not motherfucking run the team. They just would not fucking, put their foot down. I just got kind of tired of it and left. And of course, I was the bad guy for leaving, but I just think that's a funny part of the story for you guys to hear that I made fucking these teams change their fucking names. I made players leave. And so, again, careful who you're messing with. And, I've always wanted to say a lot of this stuff, and I actually have said a lot of this stuff out loud, but if I'm leaving, Wing Fighter, just want to make sure you guys had my little side of the story on some of this stuff. And I think I got maybe one more story for you guys. And, I still have a tiny respect for this guy, but I think it's going to just be important to, just leading up to, just the truth about everything, how shit always was for me. And, walking on eggshells and, being always attacked for the YouTube channel, and everybody wants to be better and nobody wants to lead everybody. So let me see, what else do I have in here that you guys might like to see? Oh, yeah, okay. You guys remember this? Not too long ago. But, yeah, so, before I actually get into this story, and I just always want, I'm going to say this, the whole entire time, even before, even being able to play for the Falcons, I'll get into that. Always had the highest respect. I mean, Chaotic, the legend, he went out and always spent a lot of money on the game in the beginning so that he could go bully the other teams and be number one, and, just all good. I mean, no big deals. Maybe not bully, I don't know. I mean, maybe I can't say that. Well, yeah, I can. But always had a high respect for him. Never asked to play for the Falcons. And I was a good friend with a guy, a player in the game, and his name was Trump. And for some odd reason, he just really, we're good friends. I mean, he had a lot of respect for me. I was a pretty decent sized player at the time and stuff, and met him through U.S. Space Force, and he ended up being a really big, how can I say, role model into the game and how to play the game a little bit better. If I had really tough questions, he was always helping me out. And a lot of you old school players that knew Trump, I mean, he was full of jokes and never really took the game that serious, even though he was a pretty badass player. But, just me and him just got along great. And one day he asked me to come over and play for the Falcons. And it wasn't in my best interest. I, had, the bully experience with the Falcons and stuff. And never once did I ever go out into the public and ever, hey, fuck Chaotic and fuck the Falcons. And it was a part of the game. And, Chaotic targeted me quite a bit. Can I say bully? Yeah, actually. Even before this little thing happened, Chaotic would attack me in Planet Wars and, never said anything, never took it personal, never, nothing. You know, it's part of the game, whatever. Maybe one day I'll be big enough to beat him. So, you know, he always was an inspiration for me to get better and find better ways to playing this. But the reason why I'm saying this before anything else, because this was kind of a big topic, what, 2 months ago, and everybody putting out their little memes, Panthro versus Chaotic, and, you know, just a lot of shit talking. Trump finally talks me into going over to the Falcons. And so I go over to the Falcons, and from day one, Chaotic was just a dick, man. I don't know. He just was a dick. I just, you know, never ever had a run-in with him. Never, nothing. Just, you know, he was a dick. And you know who was a bigger dick on that team was Godzilla. That dude, so him and Chaotic have some like little butt buddy affiliation. Maybe I can say it a better way. A bromance. I don't know what the hell's going on over there, but, you know, before I went over there with Trump, the reason why I brought that up is this fact. Trump fucking loved the Falcons. He had nothing but great things to say. He loved fucking Chaotic with all of his heart. I mean, he went on and on and on. That's my first home. I just have the utmost respect for the Falcons. And I mean, this guy fucking loved you guys, man. Like, really fucking loved you guys. And when we got over there, man, you guys treated Trump like fucking shit. Like, I could not believe how disrespectful you guys were to the guy that is telling me how much he loved you guys and how much he cared about you. And it's like the total opposite when he got there. Like total opposite. And it came to the point where the Falcons actually kicked Trump off the team while I was there. And the only reason why I was there was for Trump. I'm like, oh God, what's going to happen now? Godzilla was already a fucking dick to me. Like, the biggest dick I've ever fucking seen so far in the game. And so I'm going to tell you guys a little backstory on something else, because, and you guys can fact check this too. You know, I was always so tired of the way Wing Fighter had treated the players, and I wanted a bigger game. And so I got into Star Force, and I came up with this little idea that, man, Star Force is badass. If Wing Fighter would change more into a Star Force game, how could I like make this happen? So I got a clever idea, and I showed Trump the game. Trump showed Chaotic and a couple others, and at first Trump hated it, but then all of a sudden Trump was like, yeah, this is a fucking badass game. And he started being a big big advocate for Star Force, which was great. It started like flooding the Wing Fighter community, because we were wanting to push Wing Fighter into fucking making a better game. And so I used Trump as like a catalyst. Then I put up a video about Star Force on my Wing Fighter, hoping that Wing Fighter was watching, you know, the videos and starting to get the point that, hey, the players are going to go somewhere else. But this is important for me to tell you guys why I'm telling you this. Just as another, and guys, I have so many fucking stories like this, I can't even tell you. But anyways, so we go to the Falcons. They ended up kicking Trump off. I just couldn't even believe it. And so Godzilla was already a dick. And all of a sudden, Godzilla comes into the Legion chat, and he's like, yeah, fucking basically fuck Panthro. You guys need to stop fucking playing Star Force. This is a fucking Russian-ran game. And because you guys are playing it, you guys are funding the Russians to battling the Ukraine war. And I just couldn't fucking believe it. I just could not. I'm like, is this dude fucking for real? And didn't go so well, obviously. I'm just like, dude, are you fucking out of your... What in the fuck are you talking about, dude? Not necessarily a fight. I wasn't really fighting with them, but I was just like, dude, are you fucking mentally you got some mental problems or something, dude? And I ended up leaving the Falcons. I was just like, you know, fuck. And actually, I got along with a couple players. They did have a couple cool dudes on there, but it wasn't enough for me to stay after that whole Godzilla fucking weird shit. I ended up leaving, and here's Chaotic always hit me in Planet Wars, and never once did I cry. Never once did I say a fucking word in public. Never whatever. But the funny part about that story is every time he would do that to me, I'd go over and just blast Godzilla. So every time he attacked me, I attacked Godzilla. And I love that aspect of it. So anytime Chaotic did something to me, I just blasted Godzilla. Just hilarious part of the story for me. But, you know, so, you know, Chaotic, let me see. Let me see here. If I can find. Oh, yeah. So, okay. So, here it is. So, this is what started it, actually, in the public. So, we're playing Hyper Battlefield and totally being diplomatic. Bob's a little diplomatic. And we gave the Falcons all these towers, got out of their way, gave them fucking enemy bases, fucking sat there, not even playing the game basically because of the diplomacy. And I sat there for like 15 minutes. I put my phone down on the table. I come over and I notice I'm dead. I'm like, wait a second. I've just been sitting on not doing shit. And lo and behold, Falcons came over and killed me while I wasn't even on my phone. I picked my phone up and I told Scorpius, you guys can go fuck yourselves. I am going to fuck these guys up. And I literally, with a couple of other little players that caught on to what was happening, I went over and beat the fucking daylights out of the Falcons. And I mean daylights. I mean, I can't even describe to you how bad I fucking put their team into the ground with a couple of other. And granted, we're a way smaller team than the Falcons. Way fucking smaller. And so after that, we were playing them in Planet Wars at the same time. And I'm like, well, since they didn't want to do diplomacy and they obviously came down and started some shit and didn't give a fuck that we were being nice to them, and we just thought it was bizarre. I went into Planet Wars and just cleared their whole entire team on Planet Wars, and lo and behold, Chaotic comes over to Scorpius chat and fucking cries like a little girl about it. Cries like a little girl. I could not believe it. Like, I mean, I just could not fucking believe it. So one of their players writes over, and their players were even like, dude, we have never seen anything like this in Hyper Battlefield. You guys basically came over and fucking demolished us. And Chaotic was pissed. And, you know, some of the other legions were watching this. And Chaotic and those guys, you know, Reborn and them teamed up. But Chaotic's such a fucking dick that he couldn't even hold relationships with other teams. And ended up having to go back to the Falcons. And, you know, so, but hey, I'm the dick. Just remember, guys, I'm always the dick. I'm always the dick. And but Chaotic again, yeah. So right here, I can't get, yeah, right here. Really, Panthro? I'll kill you in HB. So there you guys go. Look, we're supposed to be diplomatic and on the same team. We just gave them a whole bunch of towers and enemy bases. And are you guys reading this? I kill you in HB, and how are you going to immediately go and boot me in Planet Wars? I mean, are you fucking serious, dude? You fucking come over out of all players that you could have attacked, and you fucking boot me out of all fucking players. And you want to talk about bullying, and you want to talk about, and the crazy part is he started it. He fucking started it and got his fucking ass kicked. Oh my God, did I fucking drill them into the ground? I mean, holy shit, did they get their asses whooped. So, huge fucking debate into Scorpius thing, and then all of a sudden, the Wing Fighter, little Chaotic versus Panthro comes out, and what really happened was this: winner and loser. So all this shit talking and fucking, all this shit goes down, of course, and of course I'm the bad guy, of course. How I'm the bad guy out of being attacked, and the treaties broke and this and that. That following week, we were gonna headhunt him. We were gonna, and we could have, and then Reborn steps in and blocks the path from us going over and just fucking kicking the shit out of him again. That time, Chaotic was real quiet, of course. He didn't want nothing to fucking do with it and shit. He fucking knew. And he had some time to rebuild his team. He added a couple of like 90 mil players and was an even bigger team. And we finally caught back up with him. We're just a little mid team. I mean, little mid team. We got our revenge again. Kick the fucking, they were a little bit stronger. We didn't kick the shit out of them, but we did beat them. It took a little bit, just because they had a bigger team. It did take me a little bit here, but we did beat him again. And just to prove a point that you want to talk all that shit, you want to come attack us, and you want to break the treaties, and you guys didn't hear anything about that in the public, and I didn't rub it in his face into the public. I didn't do any of that stuff, but the moral of the story is I've tried to be super cool with this dude. I've always had respect for him in the beginning. I played on their team. You heard the crazy fucking story that, again, just always some crazy shit happening whenever I joined the Legion. And, but I will say this with Chaotic. I will say this, and this is another reason why I brought it up. And he even said it, though. Even though it was crazy, it made the game fun for a second again. Why? Because we were able to battle each other. We weren't sitting around. We weren't doing diplomacy. We weren't. And it made it challenging there for a second. It brought some excitement to the game. Even the other players watching it, and it didn't matter who won. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not really happy that, I technically won. I think the most part about that I enjoyed was just some excitement in the game. It's so fucking boring. The game is so boring and so political and woke. And for a split second in time, we had something to do. We had, Wing Fighter. We're battling each other. We're supposed to be doing that. We're supposed to challenge ourselves and challenge our setups. And, so for a split second in time, it was actually fun. And, realistically, I still have respect for you, Chaotic, but I had to use you as an example to, Trump loved you, bro. And, you let me down quite a few times, man, yourself. But I still respect you. And I just think that it's important that Wing Fighter just understands that there's so much more to the game that shouldn't even be there. All this politic crap, bully teams, pulleys, little dick pulleys. This shit shouldn't even be like this. The game shouldn't be like this. The game's not fun. It's so repetitious for the bigger players. And, at the end of this here, it's Wing Fighter's fault. I mean, they're the ones allowing this shit to happen. They're the ones that haven't listened to the players. They're the ones that created these team events. They're the ones that allow Pulley and Aeon to basically trash the game with how they are playing it and putting fear into all the teams, making them have what they call diplomats. Again, I'm not going to go there again, but for all you new players and medium players coming in and then, trying to get into and hoping that you can get to a big level, you guys don't want to be at the big levels. You guys don't. I never really wanted to be at the big. I went to the big levels just to kick some ass, help some players out, not be bullied, and just sad. I mean, it really is sad. I learned a lot about my life playing Wing Fighter, though. I learned a lot about other people. I learned a lot. I grew as a person, big time. I'm very proud of everything that I've done. I have zero regrets into any of this, any of it, at all. We heard what I said in the middle of this. We take the bad and we turn it into good. And if we have any animosities or hates, or we take that and we do something good. We put it into something better, either into ourselves, a project, or something else that we're doing. So I don't want this story to be a bad story at all. It's dark. It's a hostage situation for a whole entire game and a community. But, the positive of it is we all can learn something from this, and we can all, take something away from this, and, not make this negative in full. I've met some incredible players. I've met so many just really cool people that overshines the bad. It really does. So I am going to end this on a positive note. The Wing Fighter channel itself has just been just amazing. I mean, I cannot thank all of you guys enough for the support. I really didn't know the impact that I was having, but I don't think you guys know the impact that you were having on me, to, again, being a better player and being a voice for the players that were afraid to say something, and being a voice against Wing Fighter itself, putting up videos telling Wing Fighter that they needed to change this game. And I have always played this game for you guys. I truly mean that from the bottom of my heart. I played this game to change the game and to, just hopefully change your guys' life, because you guys changed my life and the channel changed my life. And I don't know if I'll ever have an experience like this again with any other game, or just anything that can compare to all of this. Good, bad, it doesn't matter. I just really am honored to have been a part of something. Been honored to be the bad guy. Been honored to be the good guy. I've been just honored just to be noticed in a sea of big players, good players, and bad players. And so I hate it to be goodbye. Any of you guys can message me on my email. You guys can make a comment. My Discord will be open for a while. If any of you guys make a couple comments on some other videos, if you guys want to hook up on social media, I would be more than honored to be any one of your guys' friends. And just, yeah, it's that time. It's just time to move forward and live my life a different way. Again, I have such a great life. Got so many things to do. It's like I said, it's just been one of those moments in time that I'll never forget. And I just can't say thank you enough. If you guys want to leave a comment, please do. You've heard what I said. I've always responded to every comment ever put. It doesn't matter what country, region, or player to, I've loved doing this with you guys. So, okay. Hopefully Wing Fighter will do something drastic here. Hopefully Wing Fighter will listen to this movie, basically, and hopefully some major changes can happen here, guys. But you guys are the major change. You don't have to put up with this stuff. Walk away with this game with your heads high. Have some honor and stop being diplomatic. Don't worry about it. I mean, there's no coin worth the crap that has been going on, especially with Aeons and the bigger teams. So, you guys can make a change. Stop buying into the game until they change the game. I mean, that's that simple. Get together and have a month blackout where, nobody spends any money, and you guys are telling them we're not going to spend it. I mean, there's things that you guys can do to be proactive to, trying to make this a better place and a more fair wing fighter. Let go of the hostage release that, again, these players and teams have. And I really do appreciate you guys again for the last time. And if you need something, I'll be here. Love you guys, and just try to have fun.